What up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. And we're doing a midweek episode, and we're going to talk about Man United's dismantling revenge style over Aston Villa. I did not know how angry I was about our weekend loss to them in the Premier League until I was watching this match. And I definitely did not want us to lose. We're going to talk about yesterday. Didn't Spurs get knocked out Carabao Cup?
Oh, yeah.
Forest?
All the London clubs got knocked out.
Chelsea got knocked out.
Arsenal,
Hey,
West Ham,
Arsenal got knocked out.
Charlton is still in.
London's finest.
Yeah, Charlton lives matter too, Neil. Don't say all the London clubs. Charlton is still in there. We're going to go through some of the World Cup rosters, maybe mostly the top teams, and see, let's play who we feel has the strongest team. And then we're going to also see what the big marquee matchup in the Premier League is this weekend. We got Lee Hudson, stand-up coming from England, Southampton fan, joining. What up?
Hey.
We got,
I'm good. We had a fun week, so yeah.
Yeah, I know you got his new coach. We're going to talk about your new coach. And we got Neil, depression, Chelsea fan, Chakravarty. Neil, like your vibe is just, even with the thumbs up and the smile, I feel the sadness.
I'm mad.
Ain't buying it.
I think I'm at the acceptance stage.
Well, that means that's, acceptance if you're a drug addict is good, but acceptance if your team is going to lose all year is bad energy. It's mopey energy. You know what I mean? We'll see if you survive. Maybe Potter can surprise you.
It just numbs me from the pain a little bit more.
All right. This is your medication. Did you guys get to see the United versus Villa game?
Seen the goals.
Seen the goals. I'll just give you my take, and then you guys can jump in. Something just popped up on my screen. Clips would like to send you notifications. I don't even know what Clips is and why, so I have no idea. But as far as the United game is concerned, it just felt good to get revenge, like I said, on this weekend's game against them. And we're at Old Trafford. I knew we had to change the starting lineup from the weekend, but also kind of rest players for the Fulham game we got coming up this weekend, because we want to put our best foot forward for Fulham, because we need to win that game for two reasons: for the points in the Premier League, and also you don't want to send your fans off for a month with a loss. That would be just too bad of a taste, and kind of not depressed, but hurt the enthusiasm the fan base has for the coach and the team for a whole month. So you gotta, it's one of the biggest games of the season. And Fulham is a difficult team. You got to give them respect. They got some points. They beat some giants, and they go hard. And they've actually dropped some points late in games in ways that they shouldn't have. So back to the Villa game, we put Scott McTominay back in and Fred to start. We rested Eriksen a little bit. We rested Casemiro. And you have to play them. It's because one of the things I did notice about Arsenal and Arteta is that he has improved players, right? Yeah, as a good coach, you can't just buy people and change the whole team. To be a really good coach, you have to improve players, turn people who the fans thought were duds into viable squad players. And McTominay, to be honest, has been on that path. Fred is iffy, but you have to use them in this game, both of them, which you haven't seen both of them starting the game in a minute. They were regulars under Ali and other coaches. But you haven't really seen them in the Ten Hag era, especially since we lost to those first two games in the beginning of the season. So it's Fred, if you improved, come in, play in there for so we can rest Eriksen, and so we didn't even get a chance to rest Bruno. We put him out on the right, but because we still have injuries, and you don't want to start Garnacho like right away. So like, and Bruno rested the last game because we had a suspension. So that was good that we put them in there as placeholders. And I think McTominay had a pretty decent game. Fred at moments was scared, but he had a decent game for Fred. And I like how we responded to Villa's first goal. Like, as they were still celebrating their goal at Old Trafford, 16 seconds later, we shut that shit down and put the ball back in the net. And the surprise of the goal was the assist was from Bruno playing on the right from a ball from Shaw. So him playing on the right, Bruno's getting more comfortable playing on the right, even though it's a position that he's not used to. So it's good to get some flexibility and versatility from Bruno. Garnacho again came in as a sub and just is a headache. Like, most players that have to defend him have to go see a knee doctor when he's done, because you don't know which way he's gonna go. You do, but you can't stop it. So that was cool to see. I think I know what the problem is with Maguire. He wants to be a hero. So sometimes he'll try to anticipate these passes in the middle of the field and just get there late, use his hands and shit. Or let me play this great long pass, which he can pull off. But sometimes just pass the ball really quick and speed shit up and stop trying to make every play like the Maguire play. Because we changed our front line, we had Martial up there and Rashford. It's just more of a better press. Like, remember the last game, we didn't really have a press. They could play through us. So even though we still use Van de Beek, just our press was better. And that created opportunities that stopped them from getting out of their half. It made us more of the team that I said Raggan, Ten Hag is trying to turn us into. So it was just like a better game overall. We had more of the people that we want up front, like starting. Martial scored and got out of the second half and got some rest. Rashford got out the game at some point and got some rest. Bruno got a goal and McTominay, and we just played better. And the second half was it was two different games. Like, I spoke to Lloyd and the commentators there shit on the first half. There's we'd like to show you some highlights, but there aren't any. And which is funny because we have completely different commentators here, and they pretty much said the same thing. And then it was like winter and summer. The second half was like a nice sunny day, especially if you're a United fan. The game opened up, and we did our thing, and it was just good to win 4-2 and smash those fools with most of the players that should have been playing but couldn't play on this weekend. And we caused more pressure, caused more trouble, and we did our thing.
And you're probably now either favorite or the second favorite to win this
And
whole thing.
And why is that, Neil?
Because as a whole bunch of clubs are out, and then Liverpool drew Man City in the next one, so one of those two are going to be out. So literally, it's going to be that winner of that game and you guys among the top teams that are going to remain.
That's interesting. I didn't know that until Lee told me a minute ago. But yeah, what was funny too? I spoke to Lloyd before this game, and he wanted to win this game too because of what happened the day before with a lot of Giants getting knocked out. He's like, this is really a chance to win something. So I know this really hurt him. But that's what you get for beating us this weekend. What you got, Lee?
Yeah, but Villa wouldn't have won it either. So
I feel like they feel like with Emery, it's almost getting a player.
Like cup, for cup runs.
Yeah. And he is a good cup guy.
Yeah.
I thought you guys yeah, you guys played well considering the amount of players you shifted around. Villa came fairly strong. I think they rotated a couple of positions, like the goalkeeper and stuff. But yeah, you guys look pretty good. I mean, obviously Villa, they took the lead twice, didn't they?
Yeah, they took it twice.
But I mean, it was all the second half game, wasn't it? Everything was second half in this one. It was yeah, it kind of came to life. And yeah, like you say, Garnacho when he came on looked like, from what I could see, looked like he was a bit of a game changer, provided a bit of energy. But yeah, I mean, it was Rashford on his goal showed great persistence to want to get on that loose ball and put that in. Yeah, so it was
what a great buy. What a brand new transfer from the player he was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to have got his confidence back under Ten Hag, which is good to see. And obviously made the squad. I know we'll talk about that in a bit for the World Cup. So yeah, great for him. And yeah, I mean, good for you guys to get a bit of revenge. But that's a legitimate, like we were saying, a little legitimate trophy that you guys can challenge for, because there's a real opening there if you can progress past the next round. Yeah, one like you said, one of City or Liverpool's going out. I mean, we got a fairly good draw against Lincoln, so it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up in the final of this competition.
Don't sleep on Lincoln, even though I don't know who they are, or that they even existed.
Hey, they've got further than Spurs in the competition, so they must be good.
Oh shit! Oh, wow! Wow!
I can't even join in on the shade now. Not badly want to.
But I'm actually really looking forward to seeing United Burnley in the next round, though, because Vincent Kompany's got Burnley flying, top of the Championship, playing good football. They're a completely, different proposition to what they were under Dyche. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting matchup. Obviously, the Kompany Man City links make it a bit spicier as well. So that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to burn him alive at the stake. We ain't trying to have no Man City former player like celebrate in some tournament on our blood. So that's not happening. Neil, how do you feel about a loss you had yesterday? But I watched the game and you guys played good. And it's just a finishing battle.
Yeah. And
you guys are just nervous up front when it comes to like, this is the moment to score.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I also didn't help, like, two of the best chances fell to an 18-year-old, even though he was probably our best player on the pitch, Lewis Hall.
Yeah. He took that defender.
Yeah.
Like slid out.
Him down. Yeah.
Yeah. There should be a meme. You ever see those memes when they have those basketball players?
Yeah.
And they like somebody, and then they make the defender go into a tomb in the ground, or to heaven, or straight down to hell. Like somebody should do that with the player he sat down.
And he was good. Like, Chealse so Lewis Hall, he's an 18-year-old. He started coming through the ranks from the under 17s to the the 18s and the reserves team last season, and he played one I think I want to say a FA Cup game early round, and because remember last season also Chilwell got injured at left back or left wing back, and we didn't have Cucurella back then, so we were trying out various people. Alonso played, so we played Lewis Hall in that game. He was great. He was a man of the match. Was never seen again. So I found that very weird too. Like, even no matter what you think, like even if he's not ready, but he did the job. Like, he was man of the match. He's given some time after that. And again, this season he hasn't been given a shout, although we bought Cucurella. But now with Chilwell being gone, I think it made sense to include him. He plays mostly as a left-sided midfielder, which I guess is not that different from a left wing back. So, but his best position is in midfield. But he's played left back, left wing back, even left centre back a lot. Like, I watched him for academy play left centre back a lot. So, yeah, I mean, he's a good talent, and I hope this time he does get, he's used more in rotation. Even like logistically, it makes more sense to like just use the guy. He's flying high on confidence. Like some of the things that he did, the passing, the positioning he was in, he was like it didn't look like an 18-year-old. It's just his finishing.
What position did he play yesterday?
Left wing back.
And he was the guy that sat that guy down?
Yeah.
And he did that from
left wing back.
Oh
yeah.
shit. That's pretty I thought he was playing like left wing, like the positions he was getting in.
No,
that's
that was
wing back?
That was Pulisic was playing left wing. And
I thought I saw Pulisic like pop up in the middle more.
Yeah, I mean, I think they keep moving a lot because we don't play
Right.
number 10, right? So there's space there for somebody else to come in on the wingers. So I think we played well, like especially after the way we played against Arsenal and Brighton. This was a big improvement, and we created more clear-cut chances than Man City, which I think is a pretty rare thing in itself. It's just the manner of the goals we conceded. Like those are two avoidable goals to concede. Like the free kick, Koulibaly for some reason decides not to jump. Like you're in the wall, you have only one job, to jump. Like Kovacic was sleeping on the ground below, so there's no reason for the entire wall not to jump. And for some reason, he just freezes there. He doesn't jump, and the ball literally skims his head.
Neil, I can't have you yelling at an old man like that. He's your senior. Koulibaly is your senior.
He's actually young. Like there are two older men in that back line. He's kind of like in the middle.
Well, the other guys are so old. He's young, but he's old.
So he made that mistake, and then the second one, there's a good shot, and makes a great save, parries it, and Koulibaly's got it. All he has to do is to be aware that there's a runner coming behind him. He doesn't try that, and Alvarez gets a goal. So very avoidable goals conceded, and then the other end, Lewis Hall, as I said, he missed 2 chances, and then Pulisic, he missed a couple. Yeah. So, but overall, I thought that the team played really well. I don't know what Potter was trying to do with his substitutions though. Like I think these are some of the subtleties where you kind of realize that he is still, learning on the job at a club of this size, where even though we're 2-0 down, we were playing well. So and then he completely abandoned all those plans and went in for Havertz, Mount, Gallagher, a completely different way of playing. Because with Pulisic and Ziyech, we were playing a lot on the wings. And then he brought in all these central midfielders, and our rhythm completely broke down after that. So
whatchamacallit? Yesterday, the way you played Man City was how you're finally getting to the level that Brighton Hove got to when Potter first started getting his system. Like everybody used to his system. Like you play good, but you don't win. Except you have the players to win, as opposed to Brighton Hove. So now you're at Brighton Hove level. So hopefully you'll finally get to Chelsea level.
Or even like pre-Chelsea level, because I always felt like in the past couple of seasons, even under Lampard and Tuchel, we used to create a lot of chances and we just couldn't finish. And I used to hate that. But now I'll take that. Like I'm happy to just go back to that level. Because now we're like in a situation where we can't even hold on to the ball. We're struggling to string a few passes around. We lack possession. So now I will take those games where we at least create a lot, and then hopefully further down the line we can fix finishing.
All right. So Spurs is out. Who else? Did you play someone and you won, Lee?
Yeah, we played Sheffield Wednesday. We rotated quite heavily. We had a caretaker manager who was one of the coaching staff from Hudson, but someone who came in the summer, so who wasn't like part of his sort of long-standing staff at all. So
almost like Ruben Sellers,
a little bit. Yeah, Ruben Sellers is a Spanish coach. He took the game. Like I say, we rotated a lot. We didn't really sound like we played great. we went 1-0 down to them. They're a League One team. They're a strong League One team, but I mean, even so, a rotated Premier League team shouldn't really be going 1-0 down to a team like that. But we were on top for a lot of the game after a little bit of a slow start. Just looking at our lineup, because Ward-Prowse came off the bench and scored. Oh no, he started. Sorry, scored a penalty for us in the second half, and then yeah, I mean, we had some good players come off the bench. Like Stuart Armstrong came off, looked decent. Theo Walcott came off. He could have won the game for us in normal time, Theo Walcott, but he couldn't sort his finishing out, or in extra time. Sorry. Yeah.
So a glimpse of him in the Premier League for y'all this week.
Yeah, he played against Newcastle. But yeah, we made hard work of it. Went to penalties. We won the game on penalties eventually, but I mean, it didn't sound like it was fun to watch as a game.
You won 6-5 on penalties.
Yeah, but I mean, it's done now. The new manager's in. We've got Liverpool away this weekend, so I'm going to start. I'm going to start judging him from after the World Cup.
That's so crazy. Like, you're a new manager. The highest level you've ever coached at was Luton. And now you're in the Premier League, first time, and your first game is against Liverpool. It's like, thanks for the good luck. Thanks for the good news and bad news at the same time.
Yeah, they could have held off.
You're our manager. Thank you. First game, Liverpool at Anfield. Click. Hold on. Wait a minute. Can I come in after the World Cup?
Yeah, or let him start from Monday or something.
Yeah, he should have been like, "Hey man, I got this appointment. I can't make Sunday, but I can definitely be there."
I got the doctor's. I got a doctor's appointment or something.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, how he sets us up in that game, which players he picks. But like I say, it might be a one-off. It might be a one-off strategy for that game, because you can't necessarily play against Liverpool at Anfield like you play against every other team in the league. So I'm not going to judge or read too much into whatever he does in that game, unless we lose 9-0, in which case
you got the new Hausenhudel, so you're good.
We just got rid of the old one. I don't want another one. I want to see something different. But no, it should be an interesting week, and then he gets to go to work during the World Cup. I mean, like I said, we're going to touch on the squad, but none of our players made the England squad. Ward-Prowse was the only one who really had a chance, and he lost out. So
what about I think we'll have squads? Did any of the players make any other the teams, countries?
I think we got a few that are in there. So it'll be interesting to see.
What are your team's plans for the World Cup? Like, I spoke to Lloyd.
Is Romeo Lavia going to the World Cup?
I don't think so. He wasn't even in the squad yesterday, so I'm not sure how fit he is. He's sort of back in training. But I just want to see if
is he a Chelsea player, Neil? Because normally you only care.
He's a potential Chelsea player, okay. Especially after you stole our recruitment dude. Yeah, he didn't make the Belgian squad. I'm just having a look at it now. Oh, okay. He's not in there, but yeah, I'm not sure who else. We might have had Kaleta Carr make the Croatia squad, but I don't know if they've announced yet. Oh yeah, here we go. Final 26 for Croatia.
While you're looking, I just want to shout out Malacios for having a really good game today.
Oh, did he start at left back for you?
Yeah. Like, he's so capable. He's really capable. Like, we have two really good left backs. Like there's this thing that he does where he gets these crosses in from non-traditional crossing areas, and he created so much danger. And they weren't just crosses, they were like, here's how you use the speed of Rashford. So they're like crosses, but they're like these almost pinpoint passes that you can run onto, like, but not on the ground, but in the air. And he was doing them in the first half, and then in the second half, one of them got us goals. But yeah, it's pretty impressive today.
Saw Palestri, your player, made the Uruguay squad.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even come. He was on the bench for you today, wasn't he? I don't think he came on.
Yeah, he was on the bench.
But yeah, he's in there.
Yeah, he's in there. But
They're
Uruguay got a lot of firepower.
Yeah, the Uruguay squad announcement video today was great. One of my favorite ones so far. It's you can find it on Twitter if you go to just @Uruguay. For anyone who wants to watch it, but it's like they're looking around like a map of the country. They got this map out and they're sort of pointing at different like provinces, and then it cuts to like videos of those provinces, and like someone like if it's a province with farms, like a farmer will hold up a shirt with a player name on, and it goes around all the different provinces, like telling you like where they're from and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
I'm looking at that right now. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really nice way they did it.
Doesn't it seem like a lot of countries are making like almost like an NFL draft announcement? And I don't remember this being this way before. Like even the way the Brazil did it, you saw like Anthony finding out. It was almost like, is this the NFL draft where the player's home and then they're sitting around with their family waiting for their name to be called by the team that they're going to be drafted by? And it was like that vibes.
I mean, everything is content these days, right? So
yeah,
all of these, I think it helps all of these, who's ever going to check? Like this is the @Uruguay's handles moment to shine, on a global stage, get a whole bunch of retweets and likes, and they're coming up with some way to hype the team announcement.
Yeah, US had a whole show. I didn't even know about it. I just saw the clips. The coach is on stage, and then he's doing interviews and saying why certain players weren't in and why players are in. Like normally, you just wake up in the morning. It's like, here's a team, and then there's no interaction. But I feel like a lot of countries.
As I say, Southgate did a press conference. Where he did it live and spoke about the players who are in and out. So yeah, I don't mind that though. There's a little bit more accountability if they have to try and explain some of their decisions, because obviously otherwise the fans and the media start going a little bit crazy. I mean, they go crazy anyway, but at least they've got some context to why decisions have been made then.
It's something Southgate can explain. And his name, he's a Manchester United player by the name of Harry Maguire. It's like that's unexplainable. I get why he wants him in there, but yeah. Let's go through some of these teams. Let's look at England first and then USA, since they're in the same group. So let's do the goalkeepers. Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale, Nick Pope. What do y'all think about that?
I think that's the three you'd expect. Yeah, maybe like Henderson, if he'd have had a stronger start to the season at Forest, could have made a claim, but he's been on and off there. So I think it's the right three. I think it's the strongest three we have. I think Pope and Ramsdale have, or even Pickford as well, they've got their pros and cons, but they're definitely the strongest three.
Standard, I agree. Yeah. And I also think he should start Ramsdale, but he's not. He's going to start Pickford. All right. So here's the defenders. Kieran Trippier. Kieran Trippier. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Kyle Walker. Ben White. Harry Maguire. John Stones. Eric Dyer. Connor Cody. Luke Shaw. I'm in agreement with most of these, but I made that Maguire comment before, but I'm happy Ben White is in there. And I hope between Luke Shaw, Ben White, Stones, and Walker, and Trippier, and Dyer, that Maguire doesn't get on the field. Like, they should be able to block, Maguire from getting on the pitch. I watched him play today. He's clumsy, bro. That's the nicest way to put it.
Also, I feel like for Southgate, it's almost cruel putting Maguire in the England team because he's already like, I mean, I think it's harsh that people hate him because he's error prone. Like that's like criticize him, but don't hate him as a person
Right,
for that. Like
100%.
that's something I find weird about football. Like when he's getting booed by England fans before he's like played and stuff.
Mhm.
But I think it's kind of cruel from Southgate if he puts him in that firing line because if we get to like a World Cup semi-final, for example, and he fucks up and gives someone a goal, like his life is misery
Right,
after that.
1,000%, bro.
I don't care how much money he's getting, all this and that, but like he will be getting abused in the streets and like all sorts of shit. Like it's
His kids,
yeah.
you're putting his kids in the firing line, like generations.
I mean, as well Southgate, like I feel like, I mean, it's been a while now, right? And we've seen so much of Maguire. Like at this point, it feels like a death wish selecting Maguire for the World Cup. Like, are you really gonna play him and have any confidence in him not messing up?
But like, even if another defender plays and makes a mistake, they wouldn't get the same level of hate because Maguire's already going into it with a crazy level of hate towards him already, and he hasn't even done anything at this tournament yet. Whereas, like, yeah, if someone else random makes a mistake, it'll be like, okay, well, they might get some abuse for it, but it won't be as intense as what Maguire would get.
Yeah, because it's somebody who's new at mistakes. And especially, here's the thing. If Maguire makes a mistake and everybody is like, he didn't have to make that mistake because you have so-and-so on the bench that should have played. That makes it an even bigger mistake. When they're like, why wasn't so-and-so in instead of Maguire in that position? And then, I think, I don't condone this. I think a part of like, the reason why people hate Maguire is like his personality. Like that interview that he did after the thing that happened in Greece and his lack of accountability that came through, or that interview reeked of, did not help. And his post-match interviews, like when Manchester United were doing terrible, and I know these are emotional moments, but you just have to be at least as honest with yourself as possible in those moments to get fans back on your side. People aren't stupid. You can't just be like giving a bunch of cliches.
Also, there's Connor Cody, who, I mean, you know, he's not terrible, but he shouldn't be in the squad of one of the favorites. Like,
so that's what I was going to ask you, Neil, because I have a feeling you have someone you would have preferred in one of those positions. So who is it?
I mean, I would have actually not taken both of them and taken both Tomori and Chalobah. Because I actually feel they're both in better form and at a better performing week in, week out at a higher level than both of these guys. And the Eric Dyer thing I slightly understand because he's actually been playing well this season, even though he is more of a makeshift centre-back. And maybe he offers some sort of, you know, buffer if in case something happens in the defensive midfield, you need another guy there.
He knows the system. He played in it before.
Yeah. But I feel with both Connor Cody and Harry Maguire, I feel there are better centre-backs with an English passport than these two.
Here's the thing about Tomori. When you're on the edge of being picked for the team, you can't have the two games that he had with AC Milan versus Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
The irony is, was it Chelsea?
Yeah.
The irony is his parent team, or the team that he used to belong to that gave him the name, ruined his chances of making it to the World Cup. So that's the irony. But I would
Southgate only watches games in England, so
I find it so bizarre. Like that he's played 20 other games this season.
I know, but Southgate is going to judge it on Premier League competition, and those were the two games.
But I'm
And if he'd
pretty
have
sure
killed-
I'm pretty sure I don't even need to like go into detail, but I'm pretty sure there's at least one more such Harry Maguire game where he's made mistakes. Like at least
Not this
even
year,
Chris,
because we haven't played Harry Maguire.
even Chris Smalling at Roma has more of a case than Harry Maguire.
Chris Smalling
he's
at Roma had more of a case when we went to the semifinals 5 years ago. Like, I always was baffled that they picked Maguire over him back then. But,
Yeah.
so you're right, I agree.
Did you hear what Southgate said though about the squad?
Now what he's saying.
He was saying that like about the time they've spent with him and stuff like that, and how, you know, their understanding of what he wants and things like that is more like, you know, he wants consistency and things like that, where it's like, well, you're kind of saying that, like, you know, you're only really ever going to pick the first squad you ever named because they've been with you the longest or something. It's like, there has to be some balance. Like, I know he's gone on form with a handful of players in there. But it comes a point where it's like, you just like, what are these players just grandfathered into like every England squad you ever name now? Like,
yeah,
it feels stupid.
I mean, he's also said that, you know, he literally answered a question on why Tammy Abraham is not in the team, and he said that he's not been in good form, which I think is fair enough. Tammy has been in poor form, and I don't think he deserves to be in the World Cup squad. But then, if you're picking on form, you've picked Harry Maguire, you've picked Jordan Henderson, you've put
Harry Maguire again is in form. It's just bad form. So you can't say he's not in form. You have to be clear. You know, you have to understand. I speak Southgate, and I understand what he's saying.
And he's also picked Callum Wilson. I would have thought if Tammy is not, that you go for Ivan Toney. Like, he's actually gone and picked Callum Wilson.
And I was gonna get to that, because Callum Wilson to me is as close to Harry Kane as you can get. More than like, he's a good hold-up player, and he has really good quality on the ball as far as like a false nine, and he can play that better than Callum Wilson. I think Callum Wilson, when he plays for Newcastle, he's a straight up 9, right? He's a
penalty box forward. Yeah,
he's a penalty box forward. So, like, to play him, you're changing your system, but to pick who you just mentioned from Brentford is to keep the same system. I mean, it's cool to have a different type of forward to mix it up, but also Ivan Toney can just be in the box too if you want him to.
I find it weird that we've got a 26-man squad, so bigger teams, because previously I think it was 23 or 22. Now you can have 26, and we've only got 2 number 9s. Yeah. So if one of them gets injured, if Kane gets injured in the first game, we only have Wilson. I know they can play like
Wilson's playing the entire World Cup then.
Yeah,
injury prone backup.
Yeah, Callum Wilson, who can't ever stay fit. And then, you know, I know we've got other players in there, like maybe Sterling can play as like a false 9. But I think when you've got 26 players, you can take 3 out-and-out centre forwards.
I've seen Callum Wilson break a femur watching a game on the bench. Like, he's susceptible. You know, I know he's 31. This is his last chance, and he can't score. But did he even play any games, actually? Like,
for England?
Yeah.
I doubt it. I think a season.
I think he's got like a very small handful of caps. He's not got many.
Yeah.
Let me have a look how many caps he's got. I mean, he is in form right now, but like I say, then there's that argument over players you've had in the system. He's got 4 caps, 1 goal.
Yeah, that's like, he's barely played. Didn't he get injured against you this weekend when y'all got beat 4-0 and Chris Woods had to score in his place?
Yeah, he played 45 against us.
So that's just weird. Like, you could have just went with Ivan Toney, man. I'm not sure. Just one more thing about the Man U game. There was a scuffle between Lisandro Martinez and Bailey, where they went down and rolled around on each other. And
previous game, right?
So what?
The previous game, right?
in this game.
Again?
Yeah, but Lissandro came in as a sub. He came in as a sub, and you could Bailey clearly kicked him while he was on the ground, and I was angry. But then I remember Bailey's Jamaican, and he had to get revenge for what happened this weekend. So I wasn't mad at him anymore. It was like he didn't even want to score. He saw Martinez in the game.
Did he get a card?
I'm gonna get into it with him. And
Did he get a card? No.
Yeah, he got a yellow. But if there's no VAR,
oh, okay.
Or there's no, I think there's definitely no VAR.
I think they only have goal line technology.
But he definitely would have gotten a red for what he did. Studs to the knee. It was definitely revenge. Sorry, Lee, what were you gonna say?
I can't remember now.
All right. You want to go to England's team?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm United States team.
The England midfield is interesting because I think as Lee said, so he didn't take Ward-Prowse.
I think Ward-Prowse should have gone instead of Gallagher, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ward-Prowse gives you something off the bench that I think Gallagher is too similar to somebody like Mason Mount or even somebody like Bellingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ward-Prowse gives you something different. So if you're picking a big squad, I think you need that sort of variety.
I like Ward-Prowse originally, but he didn't have a great season so far. He hasn't been in the highlights. Like he fell off since like last year. At the end of the season, he was killing it. So that's why I wasn't like.
Yeah, he's not quite hit the heights of the previous two seasons, but then I don't think Gallagher's done enough this season. He scored like a great winner against Palace in one game, but he's not been playing a lot of other games, and he's not been doing that much stuff. Phillips is in there despite having not played at all. So yeah, I think it's harsh on Ward-Prowse. It would have been nice to see him in there. I think he's a good leader. He offers something obviously with the free kicks. He's a great penalty taker as well. He doesn't fuck around with penalties. He scored 2 for us.
Oh shit.
Last night he scored 1 in like during the game, and then he scored 1 in the shootout. So he's a useful player to have around.
Like even Jordan Henderson, for example, unless you're just picking on seniority and not looking at form at all, Jordan Henderson has been a spent force for a while now. So you're picking him maybe because he has a dressing room presence. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. He shouldn't play though above Bellingham. Bellingham and Rice should be, if we're playing 3-4-3, Bellingham and Rice should be the pairing in the middle of the pitch for us, because I think that's the strongest we've got in there.
It's the most creative we got, and they can also do the defensive job. I think they're not as, I don't think Jude Bellingham is as dedicated to defending as like Phillips could be when he's fit, but I'll take that chance. I want to see us go forward more, you know what I'm saying?
Even Raheem Sterling, for that matter, he's been in terrible form. So
yeah, but he's one of those holdovers from like, the loyalty plan. There's a loyalty plan. And last Euros, going into the Euros, the season Sterling had wasn't great.
Yeah, but
and then he stood up in the Euros, and I think you have to understand the going to Chelsea, and then your first coach getting fired, and then Potter putting him at wing back, that all kind of threw shit off. So he's like, all right, he'll play for me because he knows his position in the England team. It's more secure and to his favor. United States of America. Goalkeepers: Matt Turner, Sean Johnson, Ethan Horvath. Who does Horvath play for?
Well, I can tell you he was at Luton last year, I think, with our new manager.
Oh shit!
I don't know where he's at right now. Oh no, yeah, he's at Luton right now on loan from Forest. And
he was the one that won. He won that is he the one that won that game against Mexico when he came off the bench? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. He used to play for Club Bruges as well before Forest bought him. And then before that, he was at Mulder, Ollie's club.
Yeah. What y'all think about these defenders? Cameron Carter-Vickers, Serginho Dest, Aaron Long, Shaq Moore, Tim Ream, Anthony Robinson, I like a lot. Joe Scally, not really aware of what he does. DeAndre Yedlin, he's all right. Got experience. Walker Zimmerman.
I wouldn't have picked Yedlin just because he plays for Phil Neville into Miami. that would have been enough of a red flag for me. It's like, he's getting coached by who? Okay, yeah, we're not picking him. Especially considering Yedlin's a fullback and Neville's a fullback. I'm like, he's probably getting more advice off him than anyone. But I mean, we're going to get onto the midfielders. I think the midfield is probably the strongest set of players for the US. But there's some good defenders in there, like you say, like Anthony Robinson, Serginho Dest, really good players. Did you hear what Guardiola said to Tim Ream this week or last week when City played Fulham?
Yeah.
When City
if you were 29.
Yeah, Tim Ream, the centre back for Fulham, when Man City played Fulham, Pep said to him after the game, if you were 24, not 34, you'd be playing for me. And then Ream said, "I'm 30." Then Ream said, "I'm 35."
Oh, shit. That's funny. That's hilarious. I think it's good that Tim is playing with Anthony Robinson. Like they know each other from the same defense in the Premier League, so that's good. And Fulham's defense, I think, I just like the way they play, so that's good. Hopefully, maybe those are the starters. Anthony Robinson fucked up this weekend against Man City too. Like he made a tackle he didn't have to make. It was definitely a dive by De Bruyne, but you can't blame him. The guy gave him the bite, so he played it up and got the penalty and the win. Here's your interesting midfielders. Brendan Aronson, love that kid. Is that the kid I love? Yeah, that's from Leeds, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, just live wire. Kellen Acosta, Tyler Adams, another Leeds, like all over the place. Energizer Battery, Lucas De La Torre, Weston McKinney, love that dude. Janos Musa, he's always solid. Christian Roldan. What you guys think about this midfield?
I think there's a nice mix of sort of solidity and creativity there. Really good players. Kellen Acosta just had an amazing season for LAFC. So good to see him rewarded in there. But Aronson and Adams, both really, really good players. Adams had a lot of experience with teams in Europe when he's at like Leipzig and stuff, and obviously Aronson's been at Salzburg. Weston McKennie's full of experience now. De La Torre is an exciting player. Musa, I think, is really underrated. He's a powerhouse, but also technically a very good player too. So he's got a real nice mix. He came through Arsenal's academy, I think it was. So yeah, he's a good player. Roldan, I don't know too much about, but I think that's a really strong area of the field for the US. I think they've got good players in all departments, kind of thing. I think they're going to be a difficult team to beat at the World Cup for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I think for anybody think that's going to be some team to roll over, you got it twisted. I know that their last few friendlies and qualifiers weren't that great, but I wouldn't sleep. I'd go at them 100% with a full enthusiasm if I was playing against them. Jesse Ferrara, Jordan Morris, Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, Josh Sargent, Tim Weah, Haji Wright, forwards. I don't know what you guys think about them dudes. But let me go to Argentina's. I want to pick out the teams that I feel like got some of the best squads, so we can compare. Let me see. Let's click this group. So Argentina, where it is? Why is it? Why is it not popping up? Sorry, guys, one sec. Go back to this. It's giving me everybody's. Denmark, France. I want to come back to France. Maybe I'll just, let's just scroll from the top so I don't have to go back up the bottom. Should we do Mexico? I say no. Should we do Poland? Because Martin, no, I say no. Lewandowski, good team. Saudi Arabia, I wouldn't remember any of those names. Australia, good for you. You're in there.
They got some interesting. They got some interesting picks. Australia.
Oh yeah, right. Matt Ryan.
They picked a kid who's never even started a senior game.
I like when teams do that sometimes.
Yeah, it's like an 18-year-old in there he's come off the bench for a couple of times, but I think he's joining a Premier League club soon. Let me see if I can just mention this kid before, because he's interesting. Is it Garnacho?
What's his position?
He's a forward. 18 years old. He's joining Newcastle in January.
Oh, okay.
Garnacho. He's
the right people.
Yeah, I think he's like Australian Sudanese. I think he's like a former refugee or something. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's plays for Central Coast Mariners at the moment. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
All right, Garen, we'll be on the lookout for you. Denmark. Do you want to go through Denmark squad? Do they have a chance? Or
is Christian Eriksen? Is Eriksen in there?
100%. And Højbjerg is Thomas Delaney, who I like. Doesn't Jensen play for Brentford? Matthias Jensen. All right. And it's Damsgaard forward.
Does Denmark have some sort of a easy path to qualification and stuff, like in terms of going further forward? Because I was listening to some of the ESPN guys, and one of them had Denmark going
Shaka Hislop.
Shaka Hislop, yeah.
Had him in the semifinal.
Semifinals. So I'm like, what's going on here?
Well, in this group, they got France on Australia and Tunisia.
Yeah, I need to look at the bracket again.
So you figure they could beat Tunisia and Australia and get out and get enough points to proceed, you know? So maybe, but the guys in the studio don't think Shaka's serious. And no, it's not Shaka, it's Frank LeBeau who thinks this. That's Frank LeBeau's bracket where he has them in the semifinals. So my bad.
Yeah, Frank LeBeau he does these outlandish things.
Yeah. So it's like you gotta take that with a grain of salt.
But there is a path for Brazil-Argentina final, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Or a semifinal.
Right.
Oh, I think
those are two. They're two of the strongest teams. Well, let's see. We'll get to them in a second.
They're in the same side of the draw, so it can't be a final. It has to be a semifinal.
Semifinal. Is England on that side?
England is not on that side. England is on the France's side. England's side has France among like real serious teams. France,
right.
Belgium, Portugal.
I don't take Belgium serious. They old. No, I'm just kidding. Portugal, I take deadly serious. France, I take deadly serious. I'm about to go over France right now. Goalkeepers: Alphonse Areola, Hugo Lloris, and Steve Mandanda.
That's where the weakness is. That's where the weakness is for France.
But
Steve Mandanda.
Is
No,
Mike
all
Maignan-
those
is
goalkeepers.
Is Maignan injured?
I think he plays for another nation.
Oh, really? Mike Maignan?
Let me just check.
Who?
Oh no, he's French national team.
Yeah.
Who's
He
that?
must be injured then, because he's
The
been in superb form.
AC Milan goalkeeper.
Oh,
Mike Maignan, yeah, he's
Okay, so Deschamps snubs Maignan. So let me see.
like Areola's not even a starter anywhere, is he? He's like West Ham's sub keeper still or something.
Yeah.
Or did he go somewhere else? Let me.
is he at Newcastle or is he at West Ham?
I think he plays for West. I say he plays for West Ham. He watches Fabianski play for West Ham.
Yeah.
Which is weird that you'd pick him. I mean, Maignan might be injured, but
Yeah, I think Deschamps said that he doesn't think Maignan will recover in time. So they similar to the Reece James decision, they prefer not to take a half-fit player.
Yeah, and I mean he's taken other half-fit players though. He's got Varane in there, but I mean, I think Lloris will probably start for them. But I mean,
he's the captain, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like he's got experience and he's good character. But I think you've seen for Spurs this year, he lets in soft goals. He has mistakes in him, so that could be something for other teams to exploit.
Lloris has always been like the most middle of the road player I've ever seen. Like he's never bad, but he's never really top quality good either.
There were some years when he was like really great, but lately Spurs fans have not been happy with him. But I would just blame that on Spurs and him being there. You stay at Spurs a long time, what's going to, there's only one thing that's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Well, Spurs learned this week in the Carabao Cup what happens if you play Fraser Forster in goal. They lost that one. So, but yeah,
I'm gonna read these defenders off to you. What were you going to say, Neil?
France is crazy. Like that depth is crazy.
Well, here's the funny thing. I don't know if the defenders' names are longer, but they take up 2 rows. So they're either their names are longer than the other groups, the other positions, or there's more defenders. But if there's more defenders, he definitely doesn't want to have the fullback problem that he had in the Euros. Remember when he only had one fullback for each for left back and right back?
Yeah. I know what you mean. But I think it's the same because they only have Pavard for right back, I think.
Well, I'll read them off. I don't know where all these guys play, so maybe you'll know. So there's Lucas Hernandez. Then there's a Teo Hernandez. Then there's a Presnel Kimpembe. And there's a Ibram Konote. We all know all these defenders. Jules Koundé, Benjamin Pavard, William Saliba of Arsenal, Upamecano, and Rafael Varane. So they're stacked.
That's
illegal. That's just pretty illegal.
Koundé can play right back as well for them though, and I think Saliba has played there at some point as well. So I think Pavard will be the first choice, but Koundé will cover there if he doesn't play centre back for sure.
Yeah, I've seen him play some really good. Koundé is at Barca, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him play some really good right back for Barca. So
I didn't even realise that Barca are top of the league right now.
Yeah,
I know they struggled in the Champions League, but they're top of the league. Real Madrid obviously messed up on Monday, I think it was, against Rayo Vallecano, which kind of cost them. But yeah, interesting one that they're doing that well.
Yeah, they could win it too. They could win the whole the league. But that's the thing with Barca. You think they're in shambles, but it's just the fans. They're just so greedy that they make you think a team at the top of the league is doing terrible.
Although that said, Europe is where the money comes from. Doing well in Europe is where the big bucks are. So you know, that could hurt them even if they win the league. They're not going to get that much money out of that than they would have if they did, you know, at least progress to the knockouts of the Champions League. So yeah, hopefully that comes back to bite them.
Well, guess what? They're not going to win the Champions League this year, so it don't matter. So here's where France probably will struggle: midfield. Eduardo Camavinga. Wait a minute. How am I seeing Eduardo Camavinga when I heard he was left out?
He's in there.
He's in there. No, midfield, they had enough players.
I heard he was left out. I even saw something. But now I'm reading Eduardo Camavinga. Okay. Youssef Fofana. Matteo Guendouzi, who I've always liked, and he slid the fucking name, Mr. Marseille, ex-Arsenal fan, ex-Arsenal player.
Ex-Arsenal fan, yeah.
Yeah, ex-Arsenal player, no fan of Arteta. And I was Rabiot, who Manchester United tried to buy, and the fans was like, hell no, and his mother wanted to charge too much money for him because she's his manager. Tuchemani and Jordan Verretot. And so there's the midfielders who got them the last World Cup. No Conte, no Pogba. So
yeah, no Kante is a big miss for them.
Huge.
So surely this seems like made up for a 3-4-3 then, right? Because they have so many centre backs, and they don't have that many midfielders.
Yeah,
I just think
they could play two of like Camavinga, Tchouameni, Rabiot in there and still be solid, because none of those midfielders are like really a 10, and none of the forwards are really a 10 as well. So it definitely points towards maybe just a double, like a double pivot, and then like you say, they could have a Benzema or Giroud with Dembele and Mbappe either side.
I mean, up front is the real problem. Like, how do you even go about making a decision? Like, it's Benzema, it's Kingsley Coman. Okay, fine, get rid of him. But this Dembele.
You think so? Kingsley Coman won.
No, I like him. No, I like him, but like he's not red hot.
You don't watch Bayern.
I guess actually, just looking at Nkunku could play as a 10.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Nkunku.
I mean, can he play as a 10 though? Isn't Giroud there? Giroud or Griezmann? Well, that's their
Giroud. Griezmann, that's crazy.
And Kylian Mbappe. But Christopher.
How do you pick 3 forwards from this group? What would be your starting 3?
Let me tell you who's like the most. I can't. It depends on what's their style too. Everybody's kind of, because they don't be really going out and out attacking people. They kind of get defensive and then kind of counter, right? Or are they like full press, full push up? Like what is France's style? But I tell you who is going to be the unsung hero, the most. Who I fear the most? Dembele.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because even when this matchup in the Europa League between us, Barca, and United, this Dembele on the right is the most frightening fucking thing. Like, even though there is no midfielder like Pogba to find Mbappe, this guy can find that forward. It's a cheat code for like a midfielder who can attack you. It is. If he brings this Barca form here, he might get player of the tournament.
Dembele and Mbappe have to be the wingers in that team.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm almost now tempted of saying they should go to a 4 at the back and use that extra attacking midfielder. Like
or go 4-4-2. Go all out. Have 2 holding midfielders. Play like Tchouameni and Tchouameni and Camavinga or something, and then have Mbappe and Dembele on the wings, and then play Benzema and Giroud or something crazy.
Yeah, I don't think Mbappe might walk out in the middle of the World Cup. You put him in a 4-4-2 though. Like if he's that far from goal.
Would it be an international tournament without a French
A
squad
France.
fighting about something?
Yeah.
How does Mbappe like to play? Like, what is his gripe?
He likes to be on the left in a front three. That's his preferred role. He loves being that Henry style inside forward, coming inside, bending shots into the far corner on his right foot kind of player. That's his thing.
I'd say 4-2-3-1 then. 4-2-3-1. Nkunku number 10. Mbappe, Dembele on either side, and Benzema up front.
And then who's in the middle? Who's the three behind him?
No, two-man pivot, Camavinga and Tchouaméni.
Yeah, that Real Madrid link up.
So then so what did you do?
4-2-3-1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So who's the third?
So Rabiot misses out basically.
Right.
They got options though. But I mean, whatever happens, if they don't win it, Deschamps getting fired or leaving, and then Zidane, surely, coming in as the next manager there.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do Germany, who I don't believe in what we're doing because they're Germany. Manuel Neuer. Do we even have to mention these other goalkeepers? They'll never see the field with Manuel Neuer there, so I'm gonna not mention them. I'll go to their defenders. Matthias Ginter, Anthony Rudiger, Sewell, Slottenbeck, Thilo Kehrer, David Raum, Lucas Klostrom, Bellakacha. That name should sound familiar to. He got in there fast, huh? And Christian Gunter. Like, he's just became something at Southampton in 3 months, right? Is Bellakacha a Southampton player?
Yeah. He only got his first cap a few weeks ago.
Say what?
He only got his first cap a few weeks ago for Germany.
Right.
But I mean, it's a position where they're not particularly strong, in my opinion. So there's definitely an opportunity for him to break through there. Like, Rudiger's probably their only like truly world-class centre-back. Sula's threatened at times to look good, but never quite stepped up to the level. He's just a big unit. And then some of the others, like every time I watch Kehrer play for West Ham, he makes a mistake. There's a reason why PSG were happy to sell him, and why he didn't go anywhere bigger than West Ham. So yeah, there's definitely an opportunity there. And Bellakotchap's been immense for us so far. I mean, he's had to play with some real liabilities in our defence alongside him. But obviously he had a standout season for Bochum in the Bundesliga last season, and then he's obviously caught the eye this year for us. So one of our few players going to the World Cup. So yeah, I'll be rooting for Germany if he's playing. If he's playing.
Right. Let me go to their midfield. This is where Germany's dangerous. Gundogan, Jonas Hoffman, who I don't know that much, but Goretzka, I do know. Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, Musiala, Trader, Joshua Kimmich, Thomas Muller, Brandt, Dortmund. Really like technical dude, can see the game. Mario Götze. Didn't Mario play in their last World Cup that they won? Am I wrong? Did he score the winning goal? Is that the same guy?
That was back in 2010. Götze scored the winner.
Is this the same guy?
Mario Götze.
Yeah.
He's been rebuilding his. He's been in PSV Eindhoven in Holland.
Yeah, he was in the off the radar league that I don't get to see. I'm shocked to see his name.
Yeah, like I say, he's been rebuilding. He's I don't know if he'll start for them because they got a hell of a load of good midfielders. Like, midfield is definitely one of their stronger positions. But yeah, he's been playing well out of PSV. I know he's at Frankfurt now. He's back in Germany. He's at Frankfurt. He was at PSV for a few seasons. He went there. PSV was like his rebuild club because he sort of bounced around for a while, like between Dortmund and Bayern. And then, Dortmund released him and he went to PSV, got back on it, and then joined Frankfurt in the summer, apparently. I didn't see that.
I'm going to go to where I think Germany's weak. It's not their strength. Forwards: Kai Havertz, Youssef Moukoko, Nicholas.
Oh, he's a teenager, isn't he, Moukoko?
He's younger than Musiala.
Yeah, he's like 17, I think.
Jesus. And Karim Adeyemi, and I guess what's his name is injured. Goat says a surprise inclusion returns. That's what it says at the bottom of this. And Moukoko, like you said, Moukoko is 17. Let me just slide back up to see something.
Apparently, it's been 5 years since Goetze. Last played for Germany. So he's a surprise. The player I feel sorry for though is Marco Reus. He got injured.
Oh, he's got injured before every World Cup.
Yeah,
right.
the last three tournaments for Germany, he was injured. Now this one too. So, the guy's got poor luck.
Yeah, he's allergic to World Cups. His joints and tendons are allergic to World Cups. They're not trying to be in no tournament. You want to do Belgium?
I'm really hoping for this to be the season where Belgium, this to be the tournament where Belgium gets across the line.
What line? The generation.
I don't know. I still feel like in this that they did. When you have a superhuman goalkeeper like Courtois, you can mask a lot of flaws in a cup competition.
Yeah, probably. Madrid did against Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, their entire cup run last season was that.
You know what I just realized? Mignolet, right? He used to play for Liverpool, and they lost to Real Madrid in the Champions League. But I didn't know he was Belgium until now. So he must be like patting Courtois on the back.
No, but Mignolet has actually been in super form because Club Brugge. He plays for Club Brugge now, and I think until the last. Yeah, but in the Champions League, they were top of the table, and until the last game, he hadn't conceded a single goal.
That would be crazy. That's good for him.
Yeah, but he's rebuilding. Number 2.
He's number 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to defenders. Vertonghen, Alderweireld. Isn't that a little old?
See, that's the problem. They're still playing the same guys from 2014.
That's a problem. I'm not even going to read the rest of it. Then Donker, who's not, he's not even officially a defender, but he is officially a defender for Belgium.
Yeah.
Plays for Villa. And then midfielders, Axel Witsel. Oh, I love him. Yuri Tillman, good age. Onana, is that the guy from Everton? Kevin De Bruyne, heard of him. Yannick Carrasco, Thorgan Hazard, who is right now the best Hazard. Timothy Castagne, can't say his name right, and Thomas Munier. Let's go forwards. Like, they're naming people who haven't played all season. 2 of their main forwards, Lukaku. He must have played 5 minutes into this year. Guess who ain't injured and has played even less minutes for Real Madrid this year? Eden Hazard. So you got that. Batshuayi, not Michy Batshuayi.
How is he still number 2 at Belgium? Like, nothing has phased this guy. Like, for 6 years, he's continued to be number 2 at Belgium while being absolutely shit.
Well, at least they got Leonardo Trossard in there.
He's scoring a few goals though. Like he's in goal scoring form in the Turkish league right now.
Yeah, Fenerbahce.
Yeah.
Turkish league. Jeremy Doku and Dries Mertens. I'm reading some of these names terrible. Is what's his? Canada didn't announce yet, I guess, so they're not up there. I wonder if what's his name is. He went off the field injured, so I wonder if he's going to play from Bayern Munich, but I'm not sure. Let's do Brazil, and then get to Argentina. Then we could. So Brazil, like, why even bring 3 goalkeepers? You know what I'm saying? It's a waste of them. You do, yeah. It's like, even if Allison and Ederson were injured, they'd just be better than anybody in the tournament, and they could still play. But they got some guy named Waverton. But when you got an Ederson and an Allison, it's a wrap. Just back there defensively, it's a wrap. Now, I like this pick as a defender, Dani Alves. Like, he got a big injury before the last World Cup.
Bring on the classics.
But I've seen him play for Barcelona at the end of last season, and when he was on the pitch, he's one of their best players. So God bless him, he's in there. Daniel, Alexandro Sancho, Alex Telles, who this is where
the fullbacks are where they're weakest.
Yeah.
Because all 4 of them, Danilo, Dani Alves, Alexandro, Alex Telles, they're all past their, their peak, their prime.
Sus. 100% agree with you. This is where I don't know, Bremer, where he played.
No idea.
It's so funny. The rows are so short because Brazil players don't fuck with second names.
Second names. Yeah.
So it's just they don't. It's like, nah, we say everything in one word, in one name. So there's Eder Militao, so he's dope. Marquinhos and Thiago Silva. This defense is old, bro. This defense is suspect.
Yeah.
This is it. I don't know. Seeing it on paper now, like, I thought Brazil was gonna like have a great shot at
But
this.
I don't think it'll matter because I know at least Thiago Silva. I feel like everything he's been doing for the last couple of seasons is geared towards this moment. So I think he's going to go into that tournament and just not. The adrenaline is going to make up for that, for the creaky bones.
For the creaky bones. Like, you could hear him when he's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the midfield, Bruno Guimaraes in form in Newcastle, Casemiro doing this thing for United, Everton, Ribeiro. I never heard of him. I don't know if you guys have. Fabinho, he's not been the best at Liverpool. Fred, do I have to say anything more? Fred should have 2 names. He don't deserve to have 1 name as a Brazilian player. Right? His whole shit should be spelled out. He's not good enough to just have 1 name. And it's just a regular name too, Fred. So that doesn't even make any sense. I love Fred, but he's not brave all the time. And Lucas Paqueta, pretty good. Anthony, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Neymar, Pedro, Rafinha, Richarlison, Rodrigo. They just Vinicius. They just overstacked.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who they pick as a starting 11 with those forwards.
Yeah,
because most of them are in form right now as well.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. Yeah, let me see. But their defense that shit is questionable. See what time it is. So going to skip Cameroon. We're going to skip Switzerland. Portugal.
It's another good one.
Diego Costa. I think we're looking at him goalkeeper-wise.
He's the one for Porto that saves all the penalties in the Champions League.
Oh, shit.
He's crazy. Like, he can't be beaten on penalties. He's insane.
Oh, for real? Yeah, we're looking at him. Yeah. Like, to replace, is either re-sign David De Gea or get this guy or get him early and, wean De Gea out. But yeah. Jose Sa and Rui Patricio. Rui Patricio is mad old, right? He's like Fabianski age.
Yeah, he's Roma with Mourinho, isn't he? I think.
Yeah. Yeah, he left Wolves and went there.
Yeah.
Diego Dalot. This is tough. Diego Dalot is one of the best right backs. See, right? Yeah, in the Premier League, but can you get ahead of João Cancelo? That's tough. And then
they can play Cancelo left because Man City sometimes do. They have him as that left-sided fullback who then drives into the middle of the pitch and can do things. So they could accommodate them both. I guess it depends who the other fullbacks are.
Yeah, they got another Mendes. Mendes is good. They got Daniela Pereira, Pepe, Ruben Diaz, Antonio Silva, Nuno Mendes, Rafael Guerrero. So they have the opposite problem as Brazil. Like, their defense is solid. Solid bunch of dudes. Midfielders, João Palhinha. I think he plays for Fulham. He's been doing great. Premier League. Ruben Neves, Bernardo Silva, Bernardo Fernandes, João Mario, Matheus Nunes, Vitinha, William Carvalho, Octavio. So they sound pretty solid there. I guess Renato Sanchez went to PSG, fell off the map, and they not using him. But I'm going to miss him not being there. And here's some guys you might recognize their names as forward. Cristiano Ronaldo, João Felix, Rafael Leao, Ricardo Horta, Gonzalo Ramos, and Andre Silva. That's all right.
That's a good thought. Like.
João Felix is an interesting one right now because he's fallen out at Atletico Madrid. There's talk of PSG trying to get him on loan in January. There's talk of a few like Premier League clubs looking at him as well for a purchase in the summer. So it'd be interesting to see what minutes he gets for them and whether or not he tries to build the hype a bit. But he's because he looked really good for a while and then just seems to have sort of gone off the boil. I don't know. It's because he's playing for Simeone and might not be the best club to be at as a creative attacking player.
Everybody's blaming it on Simeone.
Yeah. But I still think he's wildly talented. So I'd like to see him in a different environment and see what he can do.
I'm just trying to see if there's anybody else we should be talking about. I think that's the main teams. They got Uruguay here, but I know some of these names, but most of them I don't. I didn't know Bentancur was Uruguayan. But we got Pellistri there as a mid. I didn't know Pellistri was a midfielder.
He's a winger, but he'd be classed as a wide midfielder for them, I guess.
Because sometimes we need a midfielder. You mean we don't play him? And then they got Luis Suarez, Darwin Nunez, Maximiliano Gomez, and Edison Cavani.
Luis Suarez just won the Uruguayan league with his hometown club. Nacional. He went back there, did the business, and then he's available again now. He won the league, and then he's like, I'm a bounce. So he's available on a free transfer. Still could do a job for someone, I think, at his age. Like he's still got it.
I'm ready for my fifth 35-year-old grandpa striker in 5 seasons.
You need a forward, don't you?
We had Falcao, Higuain, Giroud, Who was Giroud, and then it was
Aubameyang now.
Aubameyang. There's somebody in between.
Hilarious.
Yeah, maybe get this guy. Yeah.
That's hilarious. What do you think is the Premier League game of the weekend coming up?
Newcastle Chelsea for me.
Yeah.
I'd concur.
Tough game on the road.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What happens if you lose this one? What's the fan base? What's the vibe?
I think fan base is just looking forward to the World Cup now. Because people just want to watch some football that they don't give a fuck about. They just want to watch, you know, the beauty of the sport is what we're here for.
Damn, that is so crazy. Jeez.
Fan base is getting pretty mad, but I think it had to be kind of expected. Tuchel was very loved, like he was universally loved. I didn't see many, like usually with Lampard, Sarri, even Conte, you know, there was few sections who didn't really get on board as much. But with Tuchel, it was pretty much everybody kind of loved him. And even like off the field, the kind of things he did, he kind of endeared himself to the club, so the fans. So when you get rid of him for not a real apparent reason and in like such an abrupt manner, and you get somebody else in, the only way it works is if it works. So and people are always gonna complain. Like my view is, you know, we gotta give him time. There's absolutely no reason to not give him time, because it's not his fault. Like any manager you put in this situation would have had a tough time. So let's give him time. My expectation is pretty realistic. It's like get top 6 this season. But I'm just worried what happens if we don't even get top 6. Like,
damn, you'll get top 6.
Because we are right now playing like 11th, 12th place team. Genuinely, that's how we are playing. So our league position is actually being charitable to us. We're 7th.
Hey, I'd love to be playing like an 11th, 12th place team right
now. Yeah. So
you have to worry about finishing 7th, which is like, man, what if Chelsea 2 years replaced from winning Champions League end up in the conference championship? Conference league.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
So, and I don't really see things getting better, because like the injuries we have aren't gonna get any. Maybe Reece James comes back and that helps us. But Potter also is not gonna have the bulk of this team available to get some training going during the downtime. I think the club has organized warm weather training in Abu Dhabi during this period. But if you don't have most of the main players, you know, it kind of beats the purpose. And the injuries, some of these guys, you know, who are injured right now might get better after the World Cup. But then again, you might have a whole host of injuries with the World Cup. So players who are fit now might not be fit. So yeah, it's not looking good.
Damn, homie. Man, it's like an obituary for your season.
But I just say, like, you know, use the kids, like use Lewis Hall, use Omari Hutchinson, who's been in great form in the Premier League, to use Cesare Casade, who we got from Inter Milan, young kid, 17, 18 years old.
I liked Hall against Man City. I mean, the kid can't finish, but he looked good.
Damn.
I think that's just nerves, because I've seen him finish. He's actually a good finisher at youth level. I think that's just nerves too. He
had a couple of real big chances.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah. He'll get better at it.
Yeah.
He'll get better at finishing or get better at not finishing. One of them is going to happen. And you got Liverpool How bad do you think that's
new
gonna be?
manager's first game. I mean,
What about the
one
new
to
manager
start with.
bounce? No, doesn't count.
Who knows? I mean, De Zerbi, when he went into Brighton, his first game was away to Liverpool, and they drew 3-3, and they could have won that game. So who knows? I don't know. I have no idea how he's going to set us up. Whether or not he's going to be defensive, whether or not he's going to try and have a go at them. One thing I do know though is that his Luton team, especially given that they were, fighting with a small budget in the Championship, they would do the shitty things to win games. Like they would do like time wasting and all the shit housing stuff that makes other teams angry. They were very good at that. So it'd be interesting to see if he tries to put a bit of that into our players. They played quite direct, his Luton team, in the Championship for a lot of the time in most games. They played football when they could, but a lot of games they were direct. But again, that was because of their budget. I think the previous seasons they were a good footballing team when they're in League One, League Two with him. So I guess he's come in, he's got a chance to look at the players and see what he thinks the strengths and weaknesses are. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to read too much into the Liverpool game. Hopefully we can get something. A point would be a dream. Can we get something and then go into that break with a little bit of positivity, or at least a fighting performance, even a fighting loss. If we went up there and lost 3-2, something to just give some hope that it's like, okay, let's go into the break with a little bit of a good mentality. And yeah, I think it's only Bella Kotchap. I just looked through the squad. I think it's only Bella Kotchap who's missing for the World Cup. So he's got a lot of time on the training ground.
Right,
yeah, he's got a lot of time on the training ground to work with those players, get his message across. It's almost like another pre-season. So yeah, it's a good time for it to happen. Yeah, let's see what he can do. It can't really get that much worse than it was under Hasenhüttl. I hope. He might prove me wrong. But yeah, just looking for something, some improvement. But yeah, I mean, I might have to wait until December for that.
What's your call on Tottenham versus Leeds? America's team.
I'm wearing the Stars and Stripes this weekend for that one.
Yeah. That's my first game of the World Cup. Tottenham versus Leeds. Yeah, I'm definitely
USA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Any you guys got anything else you want to talk about? Say before we bounce? Good. So pretty much we covered all the top World Cup squads. That was it, right?
Yeah.
I might have missed one or two.
So
sorry.
when is the first game of the World Cup? I just don't see that.
I think it's the
like
20th.
November 20th. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 10 days from now? All right.
Yeah, and then Sunday is the last game, so we do a podcast Monday.
So we can do a World Cup preview.
Yeah.
On midweek next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get the homie from Qatar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and November 20th. Like, what day of the week is that?
This is Sunday.
Yeah.
Qatar,
Ecuador is the first game.
And then there's games on Tuesday, and then we could just still do the podcast Monday. There's games on Monday.
Because USA plays on Monday. USA Wales.
All right, dope. So we're around.
England plays on Monday. England Iran.
Oh, that's good. It's perfect.
So we'll have Qatar, Ecuador, England, Iran, Senegal, Netherlands, and USA Wales to cover.
That's cool.
That's 4 good games.
All right, dope. All right, go on. The World Cup is working with our schedule. We appreciate that. We don't have to make any adjustments. It's on top.
But it's gonna be it's kind of gonna be like the Premier League times though for us.
The Premier League, what?
It's gonna be like the watching morning Premier League for us.
Yeah, there's a lot of 4 p.m. There's a lot of 4 p.m. UK time games, which it would be similar. I mean, England Iran's on at 1 p.m. so it'd be like a lunchtime kickoff here, which for you guys is similar because we have like 12:45 Premier League games here.
Yeah.
What time are our games, Neil?
5 a.m., 8 a.m., 2 a.m., 11 a.m.
I just love. There's nothing more.
Okay,
I'm
so,
waking up.
so there's 4 slots: 2 a.m., 5 a.m., 8 a.m., 11 a.m.
Although the good thing for you, that I think the England USA game is 11 a.m. for you guys, because it's 7 p.m. here. That one, it's a late one here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. 11 a.m.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to date any women.
That's also, I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that Thanksgiving weekend? Oh, it's the Friday
Mm.
just before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, my family wanted me to visit them for Thanksgiving. I was like, nah.
Where are they? Are they in the
They're gonna
UK?
meet up in New York.
Oh, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you.
Yeah, you have English and US affiliation in your family, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be a good game to watch.
Yeah. I mean, my brother-in-law would probably watch it. He's Haitian. He's into soccer, but it's tough to like, hey, I got to go to bed so I can wake up at 5 or whatever in New York. You got to wake up at 2 a.m.
To watch Tunisia.
Oh no, it's 7. Yeah. 8 a.m. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for being on again. Everybody listening and watching, YouTube, iTunes, like and subscribe. I actually responded to the comments this week. I've gotten to it in a minute. There's some people, some Leeds fans in there. I guess the title of the episode, kind of called them to responding to what it's like to be a Leeds fan. So I get it. I understand.
You clickbaited them.
Yeah, basically. But it's a legit question. It's a legit question, though. Yeah. I asked the question based on like, why are you booing? But I got some answers. You know what I mean? So I got some answers. All right. Everybody be good. Take care of yourselves. And 1 week or a half or 2 to the World Cup. It's going to be on and popping. It's going to be fun. Lee don't have to watch Chelsea struggle no more. What do they call it? Like pressureless football is another word.
No stakes football.
No low stakes. Yeah, football. Yeah. All right. Thanks, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Nice.
Let me press this thing, turn it on.